Alrighty, here we are, and it's time to get started. I asked if you guys wanted to see my gear layout for my 100-mile race, and you guys voted yes, so I'm going to run down through all my gear. There's no real secrets here, even though there are a couple. I guess I'll start here and then I'll walk through. So, shoes. I've got multiple different pairs of shoes. I've got four in total, and I've actually got three different brands of shoes. Now, I'm going to be spending the majority of my race in the normal shoe, which is the Kereg, or I'm probably pronouncing it wrong because it's Norwegian, so I think it's pronounced like Skereg, but Jereg or Jerag. This is Kilian Jornet's trail running shoe, his shoe company that he started. I was not planning on running in the shoe, but I actually fell in love with it. It's pretty lightweight and it's an absolute bomber on the climbs and descents. But it has a great responsive midsole, and I actually fell in love with this shoe. And it was not my first choice, but after trail running in it all summer, I've decided that I really want to start out. So I'm probably going to run about the first 30 miles in the shoe. I could probably run the whole thing if I had multiple pairs, which I do have. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch about 30 miles or halfway into the Speedland G-TAMs. So these things came on the trail running scene this year. They are absolutely a Ferrari of premium materials. With the BOA system, you can see an outrageous midsole. It's actually got carbon fiber plate. I've run in the Grand Canyon in these, and I really love the wide toe box and the BOA system. So if my foot starts swelling, I can unleash the BOA system, and I can have a lot of room for my foot to splay. These feel like or look like a heavy shoe. They are actually quite light. The tread is awesome, and that's why I have a brand new pair, but the tread does wear down pretty quick. So my old pair would have not made it, and I was able to get the last 10 and a half because the way these work is they only make one commission, and then you have to wait until they come out with a new commission. So this was actually the last pair of 10 and a halves, and now these are discontinued, so to speak. So I'm going to put the majority of my miles on this, and it will also feel good to go from the normal to the GTAM or the Speedlands. And I can also go back if I need to. Now, my backup pairs, Merrell has kind of in the last couple of years just come on the trail scene pretty hard and are coming out with phenomenal shoes that are kind of sleepers, and most people don't know about them. The Long Sky is kind of it's a all-arounder that has just phenomenal grip and a wider toe box than you'd think. And I've been running in these for the past year and a half, and man, Merrell is the sleeper dark horse of the trail running community. They just came out with a Speed Goat equivalent, so this is the new Agility Peak. It would be very similar to the Hoka Speed Goat 5, or people are saying it's a lot more like the 3. I've really been enjoying what Merrell's been doing. So I have these as backups, but primarily running the race in these shoes, maybe hopping the Merrells towards the end if I just want faster shoes. I'm just going to go to the right here. So during the night, if it gets cold, it's only going to get maybe to the mid 60s, but that might feel cold after running that long. I've got a very lightweight, super rainproof with a little bit of down in it. This is an Arc'teryx Gore-Tex jacket. It's meant for running. Arc'teryx, yeah, you guys know, expensive but worth it. My trail running vest. I am going with the USWE or USWEs. This is primarily a mountain bike company that makes trail vests. And the unique thing here is they have this clip versus most have like the drawstrings. And this is their Pace 14L. So I've got two of these because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be filling these up. So when I get to a couple aid stations, instead of having to undo all my hydration stuff, I can just swap out vests. Now, the thing that they claim that is their kind of trademark is they have what's called the No Dancing Monkey. So the reason why this trail vest is popular is, and I don't think a lot of people have heard of it, is it has these drawstrings on the side, almost like a corset in a way. And so it doesn't bounce when you get a heavier pack, which is really nice, especially on lots of downhills. So this is the USWE 14 Pace. It's got a nice pack on the back there. It does have the ability to carry poles on the front. I don't think that's the best design, so I might stick the poles in the back. You can see here it's got spaces for the poles, but probably won't roll that. So I've got two of the 14 liter, and then I have one of the 8 liter. The reason why I have the 8 liter is because number one, If it's going to be super hot, the white is really nice so you don't have that beating on your back, and also towards the end when I don't need to carry a lot of gear or if I've got a shorter aid station run. That is the USWE packs. Now I'm just going to keep pivoting around. Okay, nutrition. Obviously, ultra running is all about nutrition. In fact, more than half the race or the performance it's just an eating contest to be awesome. And I have really been training well off of Scratch Labs. I'm not sponsored by them, but hopefully maybe next year they'll sponsor me, which would be dope. Scratch Labs is out of Boulder. They make stuff with real ingredients that's easy on your gut. It was created by Dr. Tim Allen, I think that's his name. He was with the Tour de France cycling teams, and he was their sports nutritionist. And he created this basically because the problem was they had lots of gels and energy and drinks, but they tasted like crap and they were made with bad ingredients. So he started his own company. This is not a sales pitch. I just really like their stuff. Once again, I'm not sponsored by them, but man, Scratch Labs. So what I've got here is I've got their hydration, and I've really felt their fruit punch is the best tasting. Just for longer efforts, I can keep drinking this over and over again. I've also got their high sodium mix. This is going to be crucial for tomorrow. So this is going to contain almost 1,800 milligrams of sodium, which you guys know that when you're in a hot environment, you can lose 1 to 3 liters of water per hour. So this is going to be crucial because you can't replace sodium to the same degree you lose it. So about every 4 hours, I'm going to throw down one of these. I've also got their wellness mix, which is like a Pedialyte. So it's a little bit less sodium, but it's got more potassium, which is going to help fill up cells. Now, the second company that I've been training off of and that I've had great results and just crush it is Spring Energy. Once again, they're an all-natural company, real ingredients for endurance training. I've got various flavors. So this is like mango. I've got blackberry, raspberry. I've got their hydration mix. So this is their electrolyte mix, which is like apple juice, ginger, and water. Their famous one is like awesome sauce, so it tastes like applesauce. Lots of different flavors, and you might be asking why so many different flavors. It's because you might be doing well with a certain gel, but then after like 8 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours, you physically cannot eat another of that certain flavor, and you have to keep eating. If you stop eating, you're done. Your race is probably going to be over soon, or you're going to be in a world of hurt and not be able to make good decisions, or you'll probably lose a little bit of cognitive ability. So one of the things they also make is called this Wolf Pack, which is basically 350 calories. It's almost like a whole meal replacement. So when it's harder to get food down later, I can take about one of these in, and that almost will cover me for a whole hour, which is really nice. Once again, Scratch makes a high carb mix, which is with cluster dextrin. So I'll be mixing that Scratch with the hydration because I feel like it tastes a little better. I've got some of their Rice Krispie treats. These things are awesome. They're like brown rice and quinoa, and it tastes like a Rice Krispie treat. So you can see some mix of some solids, some mix of liquids. So I'm going to do primarily liquid calories because I can handle liquids really well. A lot of people can't. A lot of people start saying, oh man, I just need like a pizza or something like that. That's always going to be available at the aid stations, but I feel really well off liquids. I could probably do the whole race off of them, but if I need something to munch on, I've got my Rice Krispie treats. This is like maple syrup. This is strawberry. I've got some raspberry lemon bars, and then these are their raspberry chews. I feel like I'm just selling you guys to buy Scratch. Once again, I'm not sponsored by them. Their shit is just so delicious. These taste like sour gummies, and I've got them in orange, raspberry. This stuff is like candy and crack. It's almost a problem because you almost eat too much per hour, which is that. This is another product I've been using for years, not sponsored by them. This is a liquid collagen shot. Now, I know a lot of people think about fat and carbs when it comes to endurance training, but you definitely need protein, and you don't want to overdo it because then your stomach's going to feel just bogged down and full. But the great thing about this is a medical grade liquid collagen that absorbs in about 15 minutes. So it's only 15 grams of collagen. You got no sugar, so I know my numbers. So it's not like I'm getting this in like 40 grams of carbs. So I'm going to take down about 1 or 2 of these every couple hours. That way I'm getting my protein in, but it's super easy to digest, which is awesome because they use these in hospitals I found these a few years ago in Texas, and I've been training off of them. So frog fuel. Little trick, these have worked well in the past for me at Spartan races. It's called Hot Shot. If you don't want to spend money, it's expensive, but basically these are little shots of kind of little peppers. So you can see it's got like, you know, cayenne and stuff like that. So it's kind of like pickle juice that if you cramp. So I have a couple of these in my pack in case I get some muscle cramps and stuff like that. All right, very important to have lots of Ziploc bags for toiletries and stuff like that. My old classic, you guys know I used to be sponsored by Endurelite, so I still will use their Perform Elite, which is their kind of pre-workout. Pre-workout's a misnomer. Endurelite was bought out, and they've just had trouble ever since COVID, like restocking their stuff. So I used to train primarily off Endurelite, but since they don't have their electrolyte mixes in as much, I've gone on to Skratch, but I still use Endurelite for those who would be asking. Over here, I know this is a long video, but I'm sure you guys are going to love it because there's so many gems in here. For socks, I'm a toe sock guy. I've found that Ingenies or Ingingies are the way to go. I've got about 8 to 10 different pairs because I'll be swapping those out every chance I get. Yeah, toe socks, less friction between the toes. That's a win. Nike Dry Fit, Nike Trail for the shorts. We're going with the color white because the race temperature tomorrow is going to be close to 100 degrees. And at the altitude of 6,000 to 8,000 feet above sea level, that's going to feel absolutely bonkers with a UV of 10. So white clothing is super important. You can see this is from Nike Trail. It is super breathable. Just because something's moisture wicking doesn't mean it actually sheds heat. In fact, a lot of moisture wicking stuff actually holds in heat more than you want. So this stuff is stuff I've tested in 118 degree runs. It definitely allows me to sweat, but then allows airflow through. The key is that you want loose fitting stuff and stuff that actually is breathable. So this is almost see-through. I might cut some holes in it manually. We're probably going to go with the bucket hat for the race. Bucket hats are, I know a lot of people avoid them because of how they look, but they are 10 times better for reducing heat. I've got long sleeve once again. You can see, guys, this is super thin stuff. This is just from Under Armour. I've got a base layer for at night. I do have a couple hats in case I want to wear maybe a lightweight hat. Trekking poles, going with the classic Leckys. These are very well known in the ultra running community. Probably the best trekking poles out there, besides maybe Black Diamond. Got some lightweight gloves. These are just mountain bike gloves. I don't want anything too heavy. It's not going to get that cold. I've got lightweight rain gear from Salomon S Labs. So this is a foldable, packable, lightweight jacket that I'll probably run in at night. It keeps you warm, but it's not too hot, and I can pack that super easy. And I've got the lightweight pants as well. I like going with a little bit of the Sentia waters, just clean water. I know it's not that big of a deal, but just stuff that's, you know, is going to be super solid for mixing drinks because you have to drink so much of it. Might as well taste a little bit more premium than like an Arrowhead water. Another gel I have here is called Vespa. It's just another gel that I've used in the past. So then the cool thing I've done in recent races, which has been game-changing, is the blend jets have been game-changing for my crew and for myself. So when your crew is out there and they're having to mix up all this crap, some of it mixes well. So if you just have like a little sodium packet, you can just mix that in water and shake it up. But a lot of the carb and gel mixes, really, unless you have a blender, don't mix that well. And that can be a problem when you're trying to get 100 grams of carbs in a shaker cup. And shaker cups don't work that well, and it's annoying. So the blend jets are awesome. You just charge them up. I've got like 3, so my crew will have those. So basically my crew will have the Sentia waters. They'll know my carb ratios and that, and then they'll mix them up, and then they'll preload them in my vest. So when I get in, I'm just going to take vest 1 off, put on vest 2. I know that's financially more, but it's an awesome strategy because then I don't really need to swap out the bottles, hand them over, they refill them. It's going to be awesome. Chafing stuff, we've got some chamois cream. I've got this 2 Toms blister shield stuff, which is pretty awesome. So you just dump this in your socks and it creates at least a barrier that's supposed to reduce friction because there's going to be a lot of uphill and downhill. But I'm also a big fan of salty britches for preventing blisters and chafing. I've got heart rate monitors here. just Garmin Pro. I'll be wearing that. Headlamps, I've got 3 pairs in total, but I'm going to be running with my Lupine lamps. That's my number one, but you'll probably run out of battery, so I have a cheaper one when I run out. I hate to say it, Red Bulls are pretty amazing in race, and the reason why Red Bulls are nice is because a couple things. They got B vitamins, you got caffeine, you got a little sodium, and you get about 30 grams of carbs. So Red Bulls actually in races can turn out to be your best friend. Always bring duct tape, some athletic tape, sunglasses, some other things that you should bring. So some Advil, just some quick if you need to pop that to get through a hard section. This is a hidden one. I didn't think about this, but then I've heard a lot of ultra runners say, man, the one thing I wish I had, but I never thought of was lip balm. So at a lot of these races that, you know, when you get dehydrated and you're racing, you would think, oh, well, I would just bring Carmex or, you know, Burt's Bees. That's one of those things you could easily forget and then not have it and then spend 50 miles with chapped lips. So Blistex is there. Pepto-Bismol's for my, to be at my crew if I need it. Some wipes. Yeah, stuff's going to happen. Things, you're eating like 100 grams of carbs per hour for 30 hours. Things are going to get weird. So, dude, wipes, flushable wipes or disposable wipes are a godsend when it comes to this. This is for the finish line or maybe for halfway through the race when I'm considering quitting. I have an arm heart rate monitor from Polar. This is the Polar, I think they call it the Vective or something like that. The arm strap is way more comfortable, allows me to breathe. I use these hydro flasks, these speed flasks from Hydro Pack because they're easy to fill. So if you guys look at this, it's 500 milliliters. But if you just flip this, apparently I can't open that. That makes it super easy to pour in. Other bottles, it's really hard to not spill. So that's a genius invention. That's 500 milliliters, your standard. I'm going to be racing with this. This is something I've been training with all summer. This is from Core. It's literally called Core. And this is a core temperature monitor that goes on the side of your body, and it gives me my internal core temperature in real time. So this is to make sure I don't get heat stroke. So that is an expensive piece of equipment. I've been using it. If you guys look at my Strava, it was called Project Hades, where I was running in 118, 120 degrees, 115, all those crazy temperatures. So that is I'm going to be wearing that during the whole race. Let's see if we missed anything. So shoes, all that. No, this is a long video. Obviously I've got like a blister kit that I'm making up for my crew. But that's kind of the gist of it, guys. Hopefully you found some gems in here of stuff that you can try in your own training. If you ever do a race like this, you should do a gear layout. It just helps you feel a lot more in control over the situation. And then realize that this is all just preparation. And Mike Tyson said best, everyone has a game plan or gear layout until they get punched in the face. So at some point, all this cool gear is just gear. And it's just there to help you do what you're going to do. So what I'm saying is that all this stuff is just you preparing, but you have to be ready that 20 miles in the race, all of a sudden your favorite snack, which you've been eating and training for the last 3 months, all of a sudden it isn't sitting well in your stomach. So you've got to go with the flows and realize that this is all just preparation. So one more time, I'll scan back through. Just let you guys there's other stuff in here. Of course, multiple pairs of sunglasses. I don't think I missed anything in here. And that is the gear layout. So lots of carbs, lots of that, and then just having an awesome crew, and then just trusting your training and then not quitting. So guys, that is my gear layout. I'll probably post this on my page after the race because we race tomorrow and I'm still getting things ready. But hopefully that was helpful, and hopefully you guys maybe picked up some items that you didn't think of or that you can try out. And this is what it takes to run 100 miles. And that's all. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks.